Now, from West Tennessee's News Channel, this is 7 Eyewitness News at 10.
We begin tonight with summer storms moving into West Tennessee. Storms brought some lightning strikes to the area that caused some residents to lose access to emergency 911 lines. Reporter Dan Lamparello will join us a little later on with more on that story. First, though, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Tom Miners for the latest on these storms with the Viper 7 Storm Tracking Center. Tom?
Well, Brad, there's been frequent lightning across West Tennessee tonight, some very strong thunderstorms, and we also have a flash flood warning to talk about. What you're going to look at first is actually some video that came right here in Jackson. This was actually at the corner of Campbell and Hillsboro, this was North Highland, actually, there in Midtown Jackson. Our photojournalist Casey Palmer took this video of the transformer that actually caught on fire, and this actually took out power to a few areas of parts of the Jackson area. Now, we got lots of photos sent in to us tonight too. A lot of those of some lightning, some heavy rain. These were sent in to us earlier this evening. Some of those lightning strikes were captured across parts of Jackson tonight. But again, want to talk also about what's still to come. Savannah hasn't really seen any rain just yet, but there are some showers on the way and some frequent lightning too. Up to 500 lightning strikes in this view alone across parts of West Tennessee. In fact, one location in particular that's been seeing some frequent lightning is over Bolivar. They've had over 100 lightning strikes in just the past 10 minutes right now, and those storms are still all moving off to the south and east. We also have a heat advisory to tell you about that's going to be in effect tomorrow until 7 p.m. But right now, we have a flash flood warning. That's going to be in effect until 12:30, and that includes locations including Huntington, Trenton, and also the southern parts of Benton County. We'll expect to see these showers and thunderstorms continue to last through the rest of the evening. So let's take a quick look at the headlines brought to you by David White's Body Shop. We should start to see some calmer conditions return at least by midnight, but overall still going to be another hot and humid day tomorrow and Wednesday, and the rain becomes more likely by the end of the week. We'll talk about that and much more in your next look at the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Brad, back to you.
All right, Tom, thank you. Well, tonight in Gibson County, 911 calls were interrupted for a time. According to officials there, lightning is to blame. The good news, at least for now, the 911 service for emergency calls has been restored. However, some calls still may not be able to go through. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Lamparello joins us live from Gibson County Central Dispatch with the very latest in Dyer. Dan?
Well, Kelly and Brad, the Emergency 911 Center up here in Gibson County is back up and running this evening after being struck by lightning earlier this evening, knocking out 911 and non-emergency calls. Right now I'm joined here by Bob Moore. Bob is the operations director here at the Gibson County 911 Center. And Bob, can you just tell me a little bit about what happened tonight?
Yes, we were hit with lightning, and 911 service was out about 15 minutes, and we had it transferred to another county. So the public was never in any immediate danger of not having 911.
Have you guys ever had lightning strike up here before and knock out power just like that?
Yes, we have several times. We've spent thousands of dollars on lightning-resistant equipment, but if lightning wants in, it will still get in.
Okay. And as of right now, everything's really back up and running, and you guys are running smoothly.
Yes, 911's up and running. The public's good.
Awesome, Bob. Well, thank you so much. And guys, I just want to let you know also of a little bit of breaking news. Being here in the 911 Dispatch Center, they've actually have a working church fire out in Fruitland. I'm going to be heading out there next to be able to bring you the latest there, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a good live shot out there with that as well and bring you the latest. But for right now, we're live in Dyer. Dan Lamparello, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Dan, thank you for that. Now be sure to stay with WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News and WBBJTV.com with the latest on when the phone lines and other service will be restored. Also new at 10, new charges in the 2014 death of a baby boy in Benton County. The mother's boyfriend is already serving time for a murder. Now she faces charges as well, as prosecutors say she should have never left some 7-month-old Joseph Hilliard alone with someone so violent. Once again, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Lamparello with the very latest details.
He never should have been in a position where he could kill that baby.
Tiffany Hilliard, the former girlfriend of this man, Wesley Yates, will now sit in the same place he sat 1 year ago, charged in the death of her 7-month-old baby boy.
We haven't indicted her for murder because we don't consider her to be a murderer. but that doesn't mean that she's entirely blameless in what happened.
Court papers show a grand jury indicted Hilliard on 2 counts of aggravated child abuse and neglect stemming from the August 2014 beating death of her son Joseph. Last month, Yates took a plea deal in the murder case. He's now serving 48 years in prison.
We got him for that. But this man had been known to be violent for a long time. He had beaten many folks, including baby JoJo's mother.
Court papers reveal 1 month before the murder, Yates was arrested at this home in Holiday for domestic assault after he admitted to headbutting Hilliard when she tried to leave. Her nose was broken.
No more than you would put a baby in a polar bear cage should she have ever left, or should any person have ever left a child alone with this man.
But when we sat down with Hilliard just after her child's death, she defended Yates.
He had his other 2 kids. He seemed like he, was a loving dad.
For Stowe, he says he hopes this case will show other mothers there's a way out.
We really hope that if anything positive can come out of this case, it will be that some woman somewhere will say, I'm not going to leave my children in the hands of this dangerous man. I am going to get away.
In Benton County, Dan Lamparello, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Hilliard is currently jailed in the Benton County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. She's set to be arraigned on Friday. Now, the sheriff's office says Hilliard arrived back in Benton County yesterday after being extradited from Illinois. New at 10, a judge has granted a mistrial in the case of 2 former Vanderbilt football players convicted in the dorm room rape of a student. Today, criminal court judge Monty Watkins ruled in favor of defense attorneys who said a juror intentionally withheld information that he was a rape victim during the jury selection process. The juror testified during a hearing last week that he didn't withhold the information because he doesn't consider himself a victim. A Nashville jury convicted the former Vanderbilt players in January of multiple counts of aggravated rape and sexual battery for the June 2013 campus assaults. In a developing story tonight, the aftermath of a racially charged massacre in South Carolina is raising questions about racial symbols still being used by public entities today. The one drawing the most attention, the Confederate flag, which is being removed by several states as protest continues. But here in West Tennessee, the name Nathan Bedford Forrest is beginning to appear in conversation. Forrest once was a Confederate general and then the first leader of the Ku Klux Klan.
He's a hero, and I think that the park needs to stay the same and honor his memory for what he did in the war.
Tennessee State Parks did not comment on whether Nathan Bedford Forrest State Park has been mentioned in any conversations of protest. Drivers in Tennessee have the option of buying a specialty license plate with a Confederate flag on it. It's sponsored by the Sons of Confederate Veterans. One is on display at the Madison County Courthouse. According to the state, since January 1st of this year, 254 new tags have been purchased and 847 have been renewed. $35 from each of the plates is returned to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Church groups together from all over Jackson in prayer for the lives lost in the church shooting in Charleston and for a brighter, kinder future without racism. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Tiffany Neely has that story.
There's only one answer to this, and it's God.
Here at Skyline Church of Christ in North Jackson, about 100 people from different places of worship come together in a community prayer, mourning the shooting in Charleston, South Carolina, and praying for an end to racism.
If we can't be involved and be in prayer for sisters and brothers that have lost loved ones and pray for unity, then we're not doing what God's asked us to do.
Coordinators said they've invited different churches with different racial congregations.
It takes a moment like this to show that we have a common humanity and that we are mourning together.
The people inside tell me they come from churches from all over West Tennessee to show support. Different genders, races, backgrounds, all here to show unity despite those differences. They pray together
Send somebody to comfort these people.
and sing together.
Jesus is worthy.
They say not only for the lives lost miles away, but so racial relations close to home can seek healing from historical wounds.
By having a diverse crowd, we can open those, we can link lines of communications.
Their biggest hope? That their prayers here will be answered and the hate will end.
And realize that we have more in common than we have different.
In North Jackson, Tiffany Neely, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
The pastor says they weren't expecting such a great turnout tonight and hopes it's a sign that Jackson at large is ready to unite against racism and violence. In an update tonight, in a developing story, police search for 3 men accused of robbing an East Jackson convenience store. Officers say the robbery happened around 7 last night at the Food Mart on Hale Street. Police say 3 men armed with handguns stole a cash drawer, a clerk's wallet, and other items from the store. Investigators say one of the men had a T-shirt around his face. The other 2 wore towels. Some say they're concerned.
I have an alarm and I have cameras, so we will make sure that the alarm is on and make sure that the cameras are rolling.
Officers say no one was hurt. Now, if you have any information about the robbery, call Jackson Police or Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen, 424-8477. In an update for you tonight, thanks to tips from WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News viewers, police have charged 3 people they say are responsible for thefts from a local nonprofit organization. According to police, Raymond Tyne Woodson, Steve Akins, and Dawn Smith are charged. They are previous mugs of Woodson and Atkins. In fact, they are charged with stealing from the Mustard Seed, a nonprofit organization that serves the needy in Gibson County. Police say the 3 admitted to the thefts and are going to return the property taken from the nonprofit. A disturbance outside this North Jackson cupcake shop ends with a woman being tased and arrested yesterday afternoon. Officers were called just before 3 in the afternoon and say Patricia Martin started yelling at the officer and kicking him. Court papers don't specify why Martin was upset. She's charged with simple assault, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. Her bond set at $5,000. New at 10, tips from the public led to a recent drug arrest in Benton County. Brian Joseph Allen is charged with DUI and drug counts after officers say they found prescription drugs and cash in his vehicle. Allen's vehicle was seized during that arrest. If you have any information about the illegal drug activity or other crimes, call the Benton County Sheriff's Office's anonymous tip line at this number, 731-584-4632. An 86-year-old tradition flying into West Tennessee. We'll have the details coming up. Plus, those who take pride in their property were honored by the city today. We'll have that story when we return. We have breaking news once again from Gibson County this evening. According to the Central Dispatch there, a lightning strike has hit a church. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Lamparello is live at the scene with the very latest details. Dan?
Brad, firefighters are out here on the scene from multiple departments across Gibson County. I'm up here in Fruitland, where the Fruitland Presbyterian Church, as you can see behind me, is fully engulfed in flames. It is burned to the ground, unfortunately, out here. Now, according to people in Central Control that I talked to earlier, they believe that it was struck by lightning earlier this evening, which sparked the blaze. It was then called in by people who lived out here in Fruitland. But as you can see behind me, there are multiple crews out here on the scene trying to put the fire out, but it's looking right now, unfortunately, that this church is a complete loss from this lightning strike. Now, we'll bring you the latest, very latest tomorrow morning in Good Morning West Tennessee. But for that, we're the latest live here in Gibson County. Dan Lamparello, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Dan, thank you for that report. Be sure to stay with WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News and WBBJTV.com for the very latest details on that fire.